When was the last time you genuinely felt like you were making progress? Because you're doing everything right. You're showing up, you're putting in the work, you're trying, and you can't even see the difference between you and the people who aren't. And still, nothing. No sign that any of it is working. When are you supposed to feel it? When do things finally click into place? When do you get to feel like you have it together? Here's the answer. Right now. Because what growth actually looks like from the inside is this. Restless, uncomfortable, like you're losing grip on who you used to be, like you're between two versions of yourself and neither one fits yet. That's not you falling behind, that's you changing. And what you're about to see in this video isn't motivation, it's evidence. Signs that the version of you that you've been working toward is already arriving. Sign 1. You're proud and scared at the same time. The first signs of real progress are invisible. Not just to the people around you, but to you too. And that's the problem. You're looking for something you can see, something you can measure, something that confirms you're moving. But the most significant changes always happen beneath the surface, long before they become visible. So you have to pay closer attention. Look inward, not outward. And even when you do, even when you stop and pause, what you find doesn't feel like what you expected. You feel proud and terrified at the same time. That contradiction messes with you because it doesn't make sense. If you were actually winning, shouldn't it feel like winning? But here's the psychology behind it. When you're between who you were and who you're becoming, your brain is running two identities at once. The old self that knows how to survive and the new self that doesn't have a proven track record yet. That tension, that simultaneous pride and fear is what a real identity shift feels like from the inside. It's not a red flag. It's a sign that the change is real enough to matter. And if that resonates, the next sign is going to hit even harder because it's about something that's already happening in your daily life, something you've probably noticed but haven't been able to explain.
Sign 2. Old habits are losing their grip. You notice it quietly. The things that used to work don't anymore. The food you'd reach for when things got heavy, the people you'd call just to feel normal, the distractions that used to do their job, they stopped working. And your first reaction is to feel empty, like something has been taken from you, like you've lost the things that used to make life manageable. But that's not what's happening. What's happening is that your baseline is shifting. The version of you that needed those things to get through the day is fading, and the new version doesn't have the same gaps to fill. Think of it this way. Those habits weren't just habits, they were answers to a feeling. And when the feeling changes, the answer stops making sense. That restlessness you feel when the old distractions don't land, that's not emptiness, that's space. Space that the old you needed to escape and the new you is learning to sit in. And that connects directly to the next sign, because when your habits start to shift, so does something else. Something about the people around you that you can't quite put your finger on. Sign 3. Your old circle feels off. You notice it in small moments. A conversation that used to feel normal now feels draining. People you've known for years, and something about being around them just doesn't sit right anymore. And your first instinct is to feel guilty about it, like something is wrong with you, like you're becoming arrogant or distant or difficult. But here's what's actually happening. When you start growing, your identity shifts, and the relationships that were built around the old version of you start to feel like clothes that no longer fit, not because those people are bad, but because you're no longer the same person who needed what they offered. Psychology calls this social identity theory. As your self-concept evolves, so does your sense of who belongs in your world. So, if your old circle feels off, don't panic. Don't feel guilty. That friction you're feeling, that's not you pulling away from people. That's you growing toward yourself. And if you felt that shift in your relationships, the next sign will make complete sense, because it's not just about who you're around, it's about how you're starting to think. The questions you're asking yourself are changing, and that's more significant than you realize.
Sign 4. You're asking different questions. Think about the questions that used to occupy your mind. What do I want? What makes me happy? How do I get more of that? Simple, surface level, focused on the outcome. But lately, the questions have changed, and you might not have even noticed it happening. Now you're asking things like, why do I keep doing this? What kind of person do I want to become? What am I actually building here? That shift is not small. Most people spend their entire lives asking what they want. A smaller group, The ones who are genuinely evolving start asking who they want to be. That's not just a different question, it's a different level of consciousness. Psychology calls this self-authorship. The moment you stop letting your environment write your story and start asking who you are, separate from everything around you. And that transition is uncomfortable because those deeper questions don't have quick answers. They sit with you, they follow you, they make you restless in a way that the old questions never did. But that restlessness is not confusion. That's your mind expanding beyond where it used to live. And the last sign ties everything together, because all of this, the fear, the shifting habits, the changing circle, the deeper questions, it all shows up in one feeling that most people misread completely.
Sign 5, you're more uncomfortable than ever. You thought it would get easier. That's what you told yourself. Keep going, push through, and eventually it gets easier. But it hasn't. If anything, it's gotten harder, more uncertain, more exposing. Like the further you go, the more you realize how much you don't know. And that feels like a problem. But here's what's actually happening. Comfort is not a sign of growth, it's a sign of familiarity. And the moment you start pushing into new territory, your nervous system reads it as a threat. Not because you're doing something wrong, but because you've never been here before. The discomfort you're feeling right now isn't a warning, it's a boundary being crossed. Your old boundary, the edge of who you used to be. Think about it this way. A muscle doesn't grow in the moment you lift. It grows in the tension, in the resistance, in the moment it's pushed past what it already knows how to handle. You are that muscle right now, and the fact that it's hard, the fact that you're still here, still pushing, still trying to make sense of all of this, that's not weakness. That's exactly what leveling up feels like from the inside. You just couldn't see it. Until now.
Here's the truth nobody tells you. There is always a gap between doing the work and seeing the results. Always. And that gap, that silence, is where most people quit. Not because they weren't close, but because it didn't look like progress from where they were standing. Don't quit in the gap. The version of you that you've been working toward is already arriving. You're just standing too close to see it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.